You spawn as a little baby. No armor, no skills, no idea what's going on. If it's the year 2025, chances are you spawned as a male in India. The reason why you're a male Indian baby right now is just pure statistics. India is the most populous country on Earth, and more boys than girls are born. Now maybe the RNG gods were with you, and you spawned somewhere fancy, like Luxembourg. That's about a 0.008% chance. Pretty rare. And sure, life there might be a little bit smoother, but even showing up in the 21st century at all is quite rare. If births were randomly handed out across human history, you'd only have about a 2.8% chance of being born between 2000 and 2025. So in the grand scheme of things, it's actually quite unlikely that you were born today. And you should consider yourself lucky, because what's even more important than where you're born is when. Spawning in Germany in 1913 was probably not too bad, but a couple of years later, disaster. So in this video, we're looking at the worst spawn points in human history, the ones where you didn't even get a chance to play. Central Europe, 1348. You spawn in a small town somewhere between what is now Germany and France. Your world is simple but stable. You live among merchants, farmers, and craftsmen. Days are shaped by the church bell and the changing seasons. Life is hard, but it makes sense. Then rumors begin to spread. Entire cities far to the south are dying. People say it started in Asia, that it followed the trade routes, that the sea brought it here. A traveler arrives in your small town. He's pale, coughing, shivering. You see him resting at the market, but think nothing of it. It's only later that you learn he died at the inn that night. The next morning the innkeeper's wife is sick, then her children, then the man who helped carry the body to the church. No one knows what it is. The priest says it's a punishment from God. Others blame the wind, the water, or strangers. The first person on your street who perishes is the baker. Then, it's your brother's turn. Your mother lays him by the door for the death cart. No one cries anymore. They say doctors in the cities wear beaked masks filled with herbs, but no one like that ever comes here. By winter, the town is quiet. Half the homes are empty. The rest are barred up. You don't understand what's happening, only that the world is smaller now. Historians will remember it as the Black Death. You will remember it as the year your brother died. Northern China, 755. You spawn in the Tang Dynasty, the most advanced civilization in the world. Your town is peaceful. The markets are busy. Poetry, art, and invention thrive. The empire stretches across Asia, and for a moment in history, it feels like things might just work. One morning, something is wrong. The market doesn't open. Everything is eerily silent. Soldiers rush past you without speaking. You hear the city gate slam shut. Your mother keeps you inside. Then come the drums. It's not like anything you've ever heard before. Deep and steady, like thunder that doesn't move. Then shouting, then screaming, then fire. A general named Lushan has risen against the emperor. He commands over 100,000 soldiers, and he turns them on the empire itself. You get to experience one of the bloodiest conflicts in human history. You and your mother barely escape the burning city with your lives intact, but the road is long, and your food supply is short. The group you're traveling with is mostly women, children, and elders. You quickly learn that every new home is just temporary. Raiders always come eventually. Now you don't even bother unpacking your small bag. Unfortunately for you, the Lushan rebellion is not a short war. It drags on for nearly a decade. When it finally ends, tens of millions are dead. Some historians estimate that over 2/3 of China's population perished during this decade. You were born into the golden age of the Tang Dynasty. You will grow up in its ashes. Egypt, 2181 BCE. You spawn, near the Nile, at the edge of a great kingdom. For generations, your ancestors have lived under the rule of the pharaohs. They built temples and tombs, raised monuments from stone, and watched the river rise each year to feed the fields. But now the river has stopped behaving. The floods are weak. Then they fail entirely. The Nile is the lifeblood of Egypt. Without it, there is no food, no future. Naturally, your friendly starting zone transforms into a high-stakes PvP zone. Tombs are looted, provinces rebel, warlords rise, the central government collapses, and Egypt enters what future historians will later call the First Intermediate Period. All you know is that the world your parents spoke of, order, tradition, stability, has vanished, and no one knows if it's ever coming back. Cambodia, 1975. Your starting zone is a city, maybe Phnom Penh. Your parents are teachers. There is food, there is music, and there are neighbors who know your name. Then everything changes. A group called the Khmer Rouge takes power. They are radical communists who believe that to save Cambodia, they must erase everything modern. Their vision was to create a pure agrarian, communist society, and that meant wiping out individuality, modernity, and anything that didn't fit their extreme ideology. Within days, the cities are emptied. They separate you from your parents to make you loyal to the regime, not your family. Everyone is forced into the countryside to work as farmers. They wanted a society of uneducated, obedient farmers. Even wearing glasses could get you killed. By the time the regime ends in 1979, up to 2 million people are dead. That is 1 out of every 4 Cambodians. In another timeline, you're still a child, and your parents are still alive, but not in this one. Ukraine, 1932. You wake up hungry. Again, that's normal now. You've spawned in a farming village surrounded by bountiful fields of wheat, but none of it is yours. The Soviet government says all grain belongs to the state, which means nothing belongs to you. Your mother hides a handful of seeds under the floorboards, not for planting, for eating. She takes a huge risk, but she can't bear to watch you starve. Hiding just a few seeds like this is considered theft. And in this system, theft is treason. And treason means a bullet. You're part of a grand economic plan. That plan involves soldiers coming into your home and taking your food, your tools, and, if they're feeling thorough, your blankets. You're told the famine isn't real. You can report your hunger to the authorities, but they already know. They're the ones causing it. When the stolen seeds are gone, your mother boils grass and tree bark into soup. You stare out the window at the golden fields of wheat. You dream of vareniki and kutia and warm bread, of anything but this bitter green water sliding down your throat. Spawning during the Holodomor wasn't just bad luck, it was a death sentence. Earth 536 CE. Although you spawned on Earth, you wouldn't recognize it. The sky is dim. The days are cold, even in summer. Something is wrong, but no one knows what. Historians now believe that a massive volcanic eruption, possibly more than one, sent ash into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight across much of the northern hemisphere. For more than a year, the sun was barely visible. Crops failed. Temperatures dropped by several degrees. Entire regions went dark and hungry. In China, summer snow fell. In northern Europe, famine set in so quickly it would be remembered for generations. This wasn't just a bad year. It was the start of something longer. The volcanic eruptions initiated the late antique Little Ice Age, which lasted more than 100 years. The Roman historian Procopius, who lived through it, wrote, "During this year a most dread portent took place, for the sun gave forth its light without brightness. And it seemed exceedingly like the sun in eclipse, for the beams it shed were not clear. The light never truly returned. Seasons lost their rhythm. Spring arrived late, if it arrived at all. Summers were pale and cold. The warmth the earth once promised was gone, and the land stopped giving. Harvest after harvest failed. Grain fields turned to mud or frost. Without food, the fabric of life began to unravel. It was a long, grinding collapse. Silent, cold, and slow. You didn't just spawn into a bad year. You spawned into a world starving to death. We talk about hard times, but the truth is 99% of us are playing on easy mode. We wake up in heated rooms. We drink clean water without thinking. And when disaster strikes, it still makes headlines if even a dozen people are lost. But for most of human history, tragedy wasn't rare. It was the background noise of life. You didn't get to vote. You didn't get to rest. You didn't get to heal. You just tried to make it through the winter. So if you're here now, you didn't just get lucky. You hit the jackpot.